All right, good morning, trade pros. Welcome to our morning market update for Wednesday, October the 9th, 2019. This is George Papsov, Trade Pro Academy. Today we got a great update for you. We have a busy day in the office. Today's our third and last day of our Youth Financial Literacy Challenge. It's kind of cool. What we did is we got together as a team and we decided to go out there and partner with our organization and teach youth in less than ideal circumstances and environments about financial literacy. So it's really fun. Victoria started out by doing a savings plan. Marky did credit cards. Or Victoria did personal like savings and budgeting. Marky did credit cards. And Azalea and myself today wrap it up with real estate, investing in the stock market, and starting a business on low cost, high efficiency way of starting a business. It's going to be a problem if I can't talk by then, so I'm warming up today. First and foremost, the morning market update. Huge volatility overnight. Actually, this morning, not even overnight. China said that they would buy an extra 10 million tons of soybeans, except that's not what they said. Initially, they said, hey, look, we have a good feeling for partial deal. Equity futures rallied. This was around 5 a.m., right? And then they said they're going to buy. Financial Times released a report saying they're going to buy $10 billion worth of U.S. ag products, agricultural goods. And that was later denied. All right. Market rallied on that news. It shot higher because you got to think of it. Number one, they say, hey, we're looking for a partial deal. Number two, we're willing to buy $10 billion worth of agricultural goods. That's a significant amount. And so that caused a huge pop in equity markets. Then Financial Times issued a correction and said, oops, we meant to say 10 million tons of soybeans, not $10 billion worth of agricultural goods. Big difference because 10 million tons of soybeans at $9.20 per bushel as of yesterday's Globex close. It's 36.74 bushels per metric ton, puts us at $3.38 billion versus the 10 expected. All right, so significant difference. And the market dumped just as quickly as it rallied to the upside and erased all the gains. So a little bit of morning volatility here around these trade news. And then Hu Hijin tweeted the following. He said, some reports said the Chinese delegation will cut short its stay in Washington. It would have been easier to read said if it will cut its stay short in Washington. Anywho, point I'm making is this. There's also news out there that China's leaving the United States earlier than forecasted, which initially was a sign of a bad trade negotiation, the way the progress was going. And then Hu Hijin said that they're leaving early, but based on what he knows, the delegation plans to leave Friday night, which means they will complete the scheduled consultation agenda. From a working perspective, this is no different from leaving on Saturday. All right. It was like when I used to travel for work and my boss said, go home on Friday night. I'm like, why would I go home on Friday night? I want to party in the city that I'm at. Why don't I go home Saturday night? Because then you're not going to make it to work Monday. I said, man, plenty of time to recover. I was younger then. Now I wouldn't do it. All right. That's the latest update out of China. Expect more updates. This thing is ongoing. There's going to be a lot of volatility. And you need to have a news squawk or a service that delivers this news to you in real time. Otherwise, don't trade the next couple of days because this is what it's going to be all about. It's all about the trade delegation and conversations in China and U.S. and Washington. All right. Next news item up on the board. Jerome Powell launches QE4, but he adamantly cautions you of calling it QE4. He said this is not QE. So this is the title of this video today. Not QE is being launched. All right. It's funny because in the subconscious mind, there is no not. All right. Not does not exist. It's just QE. So we'll call it not QE, but you know what we're talking about. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said the central bank would resume treasury purchases in an effort to avoid a repeat of the turmoil that caused the repo rates to skyrocket to as high as 8.5%. All right. He said that the Fed may start expanding its balance sheet again soon. And if they do, they'll issue a report in their latest FOMC meeting, which is coming up. And we have meeting minutes at 2 p.m. We'll talk about that in a second. He also suggested that policymakers are inching closer to cutting rates at the next meeting. Meeting minutes today at 2 p.m. He did say this, though. He said it should not be viewed as a return to crisis-era quantitative easing program. So the Fed wants to save quantitative easing as a word for crisis management when a market drops or in a bearish scenario. But what they are doing by purchasing treasuries and expanding their balance sheet is quantitative easing. It's providing liquidity to the marketplace. It's not on a short-term basis like a repo. It's long-term. All right, so this is not good news. This is supportive of the market. And I've long been saying the economy is not doing as well as everybody thinks. The market is showing a nice rosy picture of hitting all-time highs, but the economy is not the market, and that's very important. You guys need to understand that. The sooner the better. That's the latest out of Jerome Powell at 2 p.m. today. We see the FOMC meeting minutes for the last meeting they had, and it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of discussion was had in closed doors. All right, what the reasoning was for the rate cut, what the expectation is for future rate cuts, if they talked about quantitative easing at all. A lot of these aspects will be priced into the market. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern today. There will be some volatility around that news event. All right. In today's markets, Japan's down 0.6%. Hong Kong's down 0.8% after coming back from their golden week. Their holiday, China's up 0.39%. I meant China's golden week. China, not to be confused with Hong Kong. Don't want to start a riot. India up 1.66%. All right. And Europe at midday, London's up 0.4%. Paris is up 0.7%. Frankfurt up 1.1%. Strong gains in equities in the European markets and in the U.S. Dow and S&P up about 0.7%. NASDAQ leading the way, up almost 1 whole percentage point at 0.86. All right, crude oil up 0.5% after yesterday's algo panic sell-off and then recovery in the late afternoon after the pit close. According to the API numbers, it was in anticipation of the API numbers. There was news of a leaked report. So crude oil is back up above yesterday's closing price and pushing through that 53 area and higher. Gold prices are trading at 15.12 at the moment, up slightly, and Bitcoin flat around 8,000. All right, this morning at 7 a.m. we had NBA mortgage applications. They came out weaker than expected. 10 a.m. we have JOLTS, job openings and labor turnover survey. That comes out at 10 a.m. Also at 10 a.m. we have wholesale trade. 10:30 we have crude oil inventories. This is the day where in 1 hour of one day you could make your weekly income, heck, sometimes monthly income, depending on how opportunistic this report is. So it's crude oil inventory day. We trade it in the room live, and I invite you guys to try it out with us today. All right. 11 a.m. Jerome Powell makes a speech. 11 a.m. Fed's Esther George also makes a speech. And then 1 p.m. results of a $24 billion 10-year note auction. 2 p.m. FOMC meeting minutes. A lot of volatility. You got Fed speakers, jobs reports, and you got FOMC meeting minutes. And on the background of this, you got China-U.S. trade negotiations. All right. Keep your ear to the news wire. If you guys look up here, that's what this. If you look up there, Turkey attacks Syria. Literally, it was expected, but literally days after Donald Trump removes troops from the border. But look at this. So right now, Turkey President Erdogan, Turkey-Syria operations have started. 9/11. That's an official tweet. Very suspect time for that tweet to be coming out, but the tweet comes out there, or not, it's not a tweet, it's a news report. So that's our breaking news portal. Then, can you guys hear it? I don't know if you heard the squawk or not, because we have a muting device that mutes background noise, but they read out the news item. That way you don't have to read. You just focus on the market. You listen to it through audio and execute on your keyboard. It's a beautiful service. You guys take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Manager of TRADEPRO. We're getting volatile here. I'll send it over to Steven to talk to you about oil. See you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a great day. Goodbye. All right, TRADEPRO's in the room. Let's hear from Boxman. He is the oil whisperer and a true beauty and gentleman. You're welcome, Slim Jim. Thanks, Bobby boy. We always try to give back. It's a big cause and focus for us this year coming up. All right, appreciate you guys. Bye, YouTube. See you tomorrow. Bye. All right, TRADEPRO's